Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I pay my obeisances to Lord Shri Ramanuj. I pay my obeisances to our Purva Acharyas. I pay my obeisances to our 12 Alvars. I pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I pay my obeisances to Lord Shriman Narayan. I welcome all of you here physically at the Sri Narayan Dham in Durban, South Africa. I welcome those that's watching this discourse locally, nationally, and internationally. And I welcome in advance those that's going to be watching this discourse when it is posted on YouTube and the various groups from around the world subsequently. Today is day 10 of our 9-day Navaratri celebration. It culminates into day 10 and it's called Vijaya Lakshmi or Dussehra. Significance of these 9 days is recounted on the 10th day. And on this day, it was Lord Shri Ram that annihilated the demon Ravana. So I know you would like to hear this great story, Premilla, but this Guru is not a soapy Guru. So you have to watch the Ramayan. You have to watch the Ramayan. Here the Guru is behind the soapies to tell you why and what is the significance of this great day. So you would notice, I want to welcome my own, the Sri Narayan Dham's own manifestation of Mother Kali, Mother Durga, and Mother Saraswati. Right, Nadira? You all can say which one of you all three is who. I don't want to give you all the titles. You all know who is Kali, you all know who is Lakshmi, and you all know who is Saraswati. Every institution has their own Durga, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. And my institution, no matter where they are in the universe, whose demons they're battling with, in every function they make me happy. They are? Yeah. Somehow they are? Yeah. One of them is matching me too. Alright? That should be Mother Kali. Alright? So the Sri Narayan Dham is very, very pleased to have 3 of you. Yeah. Alright? I'm sure this is a introduction for the appearance in all the forms on Sunday.
Yes, Acharyaji, we can be here on Sunday.
Yeah, alright, see. Guru's potency, that is Guru's power, Guru's energy in the mother form or forms. Okay, so I want to discuss very briefly my own self. My own self. I grew up and I entered this material world. My grandmother was a Durga devotee, and I grew up in a shrine And I remember, even just smaller than these children, I wanted the shrine to be spick and span. My grandmother had a bushi. You all know what's a bushi? Bush knife, wood sendur on it, placed at Mother Kali's frame. So I was terribly afraid. But within me, without being told, I knew the shrine had to be cleaned all the time. So I would go on my knees, and I'm talking about 3 years old, and start cleaning up the shrine and wiping the frames. But I was fearful of the bushi. I just had a fear, and I saw Mother Kali with all the skulls around her, and I knew she was deadly. I had to be afraid. And every Sunday there used to be a long queue of people that would come and get blessings from my grandmother. I also remember my grandmother going throughout South Africa when people used to pick her up. And I remember an incident where a person had holes in his ankle through sores. We could see right through it. And I remember him coming the following week and the holes had disappeared. So I came into this world from that environment. I came into this world from that environment. When I teach all science, people are sleeping, drooling, drowsing, but look at how attracted you are to the story. This is my own soapy. Alright? Before I carry on, I turned 60 on Monday. You notice from Tuesday I can't get up springy like how I used to get up when I'm bowing down. So I'm really gone old now, Premilla. You can try 1-2 tricks here and there, you and Tibeshni. In my old age, I might not be able to be as sharp as I was before 60. Alright? And Mama, I just saw you trending again at 4,500 some views. This is the second time you did something and you are trending on TikTok. Okay, so the message keeps coming. TikTok, somebody commented, and I run to see which one of my discourse, and I see Toothless Mama singing Om Namo Narayan mantra. It sounds nice without teeth. Mama? Yeah, everyone catches it at this satsang. Coming back, I remember the red polish. How many of you remember red polish, floor polish? Yeah, I remember before these people come and sit, and we had benches, I used to go and polish and shine. One day, my mother's 4 sons, they were flinging LPs and 45s. Remember LPs and 45s? Yeah, thousands of them. She had them in boxes, and they were getting rid of it. So they were flinging. And one of them came back and cut my little brother across his skull. And I remember they rushed him into that shrine and they put ashes on his skull and it healed. Alright? Then my granny lost her sight and I moved from Chatsworth because my brother was very, very naughty. I used to come out in first, second or third school. He would tear my report, tear my presents, destroy my trophies. We used to get book prizes. Devashni, listen. This part is for you. To preserve my education, I left my mother's house and I came to Reservoir Hills, and I lived with my aunt, my mother's sister. I always schooled in town, so it was just taking a bus from Chatsworth and back, and remembering the bus, my brother was so naughty that you remember those days conductors they'll have a whole lot of, and they'll come and shake it in front of you when you pay your fares. So I remember the 6 and 7 bus Eureka. It had a fixed schedule, so my brother will fall off to sleep. Tibeshni style. Not really sleeping, but so he don't pay his 5 cents. And the conductor will shake his, and he wouldn't pay his money. Just memories come in back. So I lived with my auntie, I continued my schooling. And then my grandmother also came and started living with my aunt. And as soon as I went to Standard 8 and S7 was introduced in schools, I started taking a very, very deep interest in science. And I had an argument with my grandmother. We didn't talk for a while. She loved me to bits, but she said that the moon is a devta. And I said, no. The moon is a star. It's made of rock. And it shines at night. And the reason it shines at night is that it reflects the heat of the earth, not sun, earth. Alright? And then we did not talk for a while. Everything she forgave me, but she did not forgive me for ridiculing the moon. Alright? Today I regret having only one argument with my grandmother, because the moon is powered by a devta called Chandra, and your mind is also powered by that same devta called Chandra. But material knowledge started bringing ignorance into my life when I started deviating from where I was born and what I was to do in that family. I went scientific. And I went, Mama, after I finished school, I went scientific and liquid. Mama, you can explain to those that do not understand what liquid means after satsang outside. You can give them a scientific explanation of liquid. So I went liquid, went to university, joined the police force. My arrogance and my ego knew no end. There was no boundary to. There was no gangster higher than me. I was a legal gangster. All right? And there was a story, I'll relay it quickly. Jessica. These are for the new devotees. Older devotees know this story. So there was one person in Warwick Avenue that gave me a dirty look every day, and I gave that person a smack every day. When I walked past, I smacked him, and when I was coming back, he looked at me and I smacked him again. And I'm not talking about normal smacks. I'm talking about kan patties. All right? I should hear his ear humming down the road. I'm talking about that type of smacks. And one day my mama, my small mama, who encouraged my association with liquid. He used to love liquid himself. We should have weekend liquid meetings. All right? All the ministers from the cabinet would be present, the cabinet ministers. You can see where I started politics. All the cabinet ministers, we used to have many liquid meetings. So he told me, my eldest daughter's fiancé will be present and I must attend. I was not interested in the fiancé, I was more interested in the cabinet ministers after meeting the fiancé. And when I entered, I saw somebody duck. When I looked nicely, I saw it was the same guy that I should. He's still married to my cousin. He's still married to my cousin. They have a few children now. All right? So that's how arrogant I became. I had an appointment certificate with my photograph on it, which said that you are a legal gangster. So I used to clean up town. Warwick Avenue, Wills Road, Dashins, every weekend inside. Every Monday they'll come out. There was a section, Dana, what the section was called? Now that section is no more in the Police Act. So if I didn't like you, Hemita, I'll wait for Friday. All right? And I remember some black policemen, if they liked somebody's wife in the townships, then that weekend those husbands will go in and they'll be released on Monday. All right? And then I got interested in transport. So I used to sit in these buses and I used to like public transport. So I had no capacity to buy a bus. It was too big. I had an opportunity to buy a minibus. So I bought a minibus. And on the windscreen right in the front, I liked red. You can see I'm wearing red. My minibuses were red and grey. The name of my minibuses were Big Boss. Can you see? Big Boss. Then I got even more arrogant because I was about 24, 25 years old. I was a sergeant in the police force. I used to look like a braino. When I used to enter Warwick Avenue, they say, hey, this mad braino is coming down. Because a few shots were fired in my lifetime whilst pursuing murderers, housebreakers, and they knew I wouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger. And I just started getting bigger. I was an atheist, which meant I was a god of my own making. If I couldn't have a fair fight with you, I'll pull out my gun and bust your head with the butt. I was always winning. And if you still didn't like it, I locked you up There was a section to lock you up, and there was a section to release you. So I became the biggest gangster in town, Durban. We searched you when we wanted. We embarrassed you. We did what we could do because we had an appointment certificate. All right? And I want you to listen carefully. Where the Guru is coming from. Where the Guru is coming from. Arrogance, ego, anger. Arrogance, ego, anger. All right? But in between all of these deformities or addictions of mine, I was also principled. All right? I don't know if you could bring all of this together, but I was also principled. I was a humanitarian. I did what I had to do whenever I did what I did. Then I resigned from the police force in favor of business, and I worked in the same jurisdiction where I was arresting people. Everybody still greeted me. How's it? Sarge. The day I bought my discharge, they were selling me my Beretta 15 shooter. Okay? So, Dana, what training I had? Malyascope. I had Malyascope training. I could strip the Beretta blindfolded, put it back all together, and shoot you dead before you blinked your eye. So we always, if you came back from Malyascope, your safety catch was off. Because we were taught that in the time you put your safety catch on, you could be dead. So if I pulled out my firearm, it meant I'm going to shoot. You understand? My firearm was well oiled. It was kept under my bed. It was supposed to have been kept in a safe. Sometimes this liquid was always a hindrance. Finding the safe was a bit difficult at night. So the firearm just went under the bed. And we were living down, I remember, in Pempali Way. And one night Mataji said, they're trying to get into the house, shoot them. So, straight from a heavy sleep, Mama, from a liquid state sleep, your wife instructing you to shoot. So I opened the door upstairs, I pulled out my Beretta, 3 shots in the air, echo in the mountains. We were living near the river, deep echo. I had to report this incident to the Sydenham police. If you discharge firearm anytime, it has to be reported. And I remember a captain came, I was a sergeant that time, a captain came, and when I opened the garage, all he saw was cases and cases and cases of empty liquid bottles. All right? And I'm sure he made his own assumption on who this policeman was. Are you understanding? In a split second, I could change. In a split second. I had military instilled in my very youth. I had arrogance because I held an appointment certificate. I had ego because I owned a minibus taxi. I was young, 24, 25, and I had my territory. I was under control. I was controlling my territory. I was invincible. If you did anything to me, or if I only heard, you was in trouble. Right? And then when I bought my discharge, I did not take up that offer of buying my firearm, because I knew in under a week I'll be on the other side. You understand? Bye, you'll come back to my satsang. I don't think this Bhai will come back to Durban. He just got used to a divine guru. In this 9 days, on the 10th day, he's listening to a gangster, a former gangster. Come back, Bhai, Guru has reformed. The reason I'm giving you my background is it is this energy that we are paying our obeisances to today on the 10th day of Navaratri. If it can change this Guru, it can change anyone. If it can change this Guru, it can change anyone. And I want to discuss 3 aspects: lust, anger, and greed. Lust is not only lust for the opposite sex. You can have lust for everything around you, and that converts itself to greed. But sexual lust has and continues to cause havoc in this world today. Homes being broken, families torn apart. This lust is so overpowering that the Vedas state, do not, and this is a Vedic injunction, do not be alone with your mother and do not be alone with your sister. Can you see how strong this lust is? That the Lord warns you. And even you can get old like Dana. If you don't remove that lust, Dana, it will destroy you. You'll see Dana always hovering where women are. Anywhere you won't see Dana involved in a meeting with men. He'll be the only man around women. I hope after this discourse he mends his ways. Because no matter how old you get, bad habits stick around. Bad habits stick around, and we need to get rid of our bad habits. If you come to a discourse like this in Navaratri, and if you cannot clean up your filth, then you wasted your energy by coming here. And that filth is not only in lust, it's everything. Unlawful desires, whatever is an addiction. If you cannot transform yourself from your addictions, every 1 year should leave some vice at the end of today. And don't go for the biggest vice. Go for the smallest vice. Be practical. Be practical. Ask yourself, what can I leave on this 10th day? Jessica? Ask Lord Narayan for an adjustable mouth lock. An adjustable mouth lock. I don't want that mouth lock. You want to be practical. But it must be adjustable and it must have a needle that's in neutral when you speak righteously. As soon as you speak unrighteously, get into the Kali mode. That needle must drop on your tongue. Just touch your tongue to remind you, keep quiet. Okay? Mama is very happy. Mama, you must find this discourse on YouTube and replay it too. Mommy, I will be trying to manufacture these locks. I'll get an engineer and we'll manufacture these mouth locks. And this must be part of the wedding ritual. Satisfy of wedding rituals and handed over to females by the presiding priest. It must be done together with Kanyadan. When the father hands over the daughter, the groom's father must hand over the lock. All right? Kumal, how nice it would have been if this lock was given 30, 40 years ago. Premilla, this lock must come in all sizes. All sizes. All right? How much problem in this world will be solved just by this lock? Because there are people that when you point out their mistakes and when you tell them what you are doing is wrong, instead of admitting they're wrong, they'll tell you about yesterday, day before yesterday, last year, last before year, but they won't admit that today I'm pointing a mistake to you. Say sorry and transform for tomorrow. You understand? We need to get rid of this. And this is why we are not successful. Because we don't want to confront our enemies that's within. You're using the enemies that's within to tackle your teacher that's on the outside. So whenever you are, wherever you are, if you slipped up, if you made a mistake, acknowledge, be strong enough to acknowledge your mistakes. Jessica? I want Satish Bhai to hear every night before he goes to sleep. I'm sorry, Sats. I'm sorry, Sats. I'm sorry, Sats. I'm sorry, Sats. That must be sleeping mantra. Sometime if you get up to have water, that mantra must still be. Then it means she acknowledged. She acknowledged this 28 or 29 year of hell. That is why.
I'm just afraid to give another weapon for that lock.
Alright? This lock, as I said, will be a righteous lock. When she's doing the right mantra, it will open. As soon as she make a mistake, I told you, the pin will hit the tongue, can't talk. Alright?
He's booking it from now.
Satish Bhai, he was sharp when he came to this satsang. He knew it will be totally beneficial to him. Alright? Are you understanding? And we want to be, on this day, we want to be on point with this day. Vijaya Lakshmi and Dussehra. This is a day to get rid of your lust. Get rid of your anger. And get rid of your greed. Get rid of your greed. Get rid of these things. The Guru is warning you. Guru is warning you. These are the things that keep you grounded from spirituality. Spirituality is enlightenment. Enlightenment is letting go all your addictions. So the Guru gave you a graphic picture of his past. Graphic picture of his past, and today you can see the Guru is seated here. Guru is seated here today. Look at the Guru's past and look at where the Guru is seated here today. So the Guru is not judging you because the Guru was worse than you. Guru was worse than you. Guru is not judging you. Guru is saying, I crossed this turbulent river. I'm on this other side. I know what's on your side. Hold my hands and cross this river of addictions, of obscenities, of all the things that is unrighteous, and cross over this river. Don't stand on that side because you in this satsang and think you're on this side. That is called an illusion. That is called an illusion. You have to tangibly cross over. You have to tangibly cross over. All of you understand? When you cross over, then this day, today, Vijaya Lakshmi or Dussehra or Dussehra have a significance in your life. You can say, I came all the way, I listened to the Guru, and it's a journey, it's a beginning. Don't put all your faults, look at it and say it's impossible. Because I had 1,000,000 times more faults than you. Imagine if my cousin, you think my cousin's husband will ever come to my satsang? You think he'll come to my funeral? As he's putting the flower, what do you think he'll do? Yeah, then he might come. Yeah, Satish Bhai is right. Dana, make sure he does not come to my funeral, all right? I'll give you full details. Check everyone's thumb, then I'll have a thumb machine there. Yeah, no names, they'll fake the names. Biometrics. Yeah, make sure thumb. All right? What do you think Dana will really do?
Ignore all of that and take the seat.
Yes. Now after he caught it today, what do you think he'll really do? Vasan? Vasudeva? You give the Guru his food today. You give the Guru his food today. So we need to revisit our past, all of us. Revisit the mistakes we made. Have a past checklist. See where we want to go. See how much we have lied to ourselves when we are still in the same place. Ashram do not elevate you anywhere. You have to take that walk yourself. See where I was in my past, see where I was in my dark places, see where I am today, and see how much of my past I'm still mixing up today. You understand? And try to make a list. Keep that list with you and do a daily checklist. So that when you come to the end of next Navaratri, you should have moved 1 millimeter. And if you moved 1 millimeter, really moved 1 millimeter, then you have really moved. You understand? Don't go and try and move meters, you're going nowhere. Move only 1 millimeter at a time. Remove the lust. Remove the flirtings. Remove the anger. Remove all these addictions and see how nice and how positive you feel on the inside. Everything is about the inside. You can bluff about the outside. You can't bluff about the inside because the Guru is connected to the inside and the Devis and Devtas are connected to the outside. You can do what you want on the outside. You can't bluff the Guru what's going on the inside. Amita, how's that for one of your TikToks? All of you understand? So this is why we come to satsang. We come to satsang to repair ourselves. We come to satsang to repair ourselves. Years ago when I was an atheist, I had a perception that people that come to satsang were too high for me. I had a perception that when people belong to ashrams, they belong to gurus, they were too high for me. I remember weddings, funerals, and my car boot. Weddings, funerals, and my car boot. And whilst I was engaged with my car boot, I used to see people walk in with saris. I should see the husbands in kurtas, and I should think, hey, how nice if I could be like them, instead of digging in my car boot. Right? Later I heard there's something called car boot sale, but before that I was serving myself. Nothing was for sale. All right. So I had that desire sometimes, if God willed, one day I'll be wearing a kurta. But I was too far off, because when you are in the car boot association, then this place is very, very far off. But, Mama, I saw your ID membership, flash through my system here, car boot, all right? And our time we had keys, Mama, to open the boot, and most of the time we put in the wrong key, house key, As the duration of time with the boot increased, it became harder to open the boot. Today, flick one button, boot, 4 doors, I think bonnets even open, windows go down. All right, it was a real battle for us, Mama, compared to the boys these days. Yeah, I see cup holders in all these cars. Nothing will spill. In our time, the lighties must hold. as the uncles were driving. Hey, hold this. And you hold in. Not one drop must fall. You understand? Imagine what the Guru is discussing at Dussehra, at Vijaya Lakshmi. No matter how many hounds you do, no matter how many tons of puri you made today, no matter how high you dance, Sita, if you don't change these things, everything is worthless. Jessica, if you made puri, swearing poor Satish, where's the flour, where's the ghee? Wasted. God won't eat the essence of what you did. But if you learn from the Guru and go home and practice, say, Satish Bhai, forgive me, you have no hair on your head. Please, I am the root cause of you having no root hairs in your skull. You understand? And then you'll see hair sprouting on his head. Automatically the hair follicles will start sprouting. Rich with keratin, glossy hair. Satish Bhai will come. You remember our old men before? They'll have a small comb, oily hair, everywhere they go. Satish Bhai, you can emulate the past. Okay? Brill cream. All of you understand? So on to round up, this entire 9 days, up until today, I gave you practical mechanisms to fix yourself. When you fix yourself, Guru gets nothing. Everything is for you and your family. You and your family. I used the power of the Supreme Lord. I directed the power of the Supreme Lord from the Lord in the form, in the 9 forms. In the 9 forms, in the 9 personifications, and today on the 10th day, I'm asking you to use this power. You have it in you already. You came to this ashram. This power has been assimilated by you. Mama, and I'm saying this with love. With love. Since inception, I didn't want us to have a bhajan group. A bhajan group. I only wanted devotees to sing so that I can teach you. I can teach you to sing with purity. You understand? I've been to hundreds of satsangs. I've heard hundreds of and seen hundreds of Nagara players. They can sing the most beautiful bhajan. But what comes out of their tongue after that and before that? Imagine using the same tongue for God. Then you're using the same tongue, you eating pork. Using the same tongue, eating beef. And you just sang a bhajan that says we are supposed to be vegetarians. Using the same tongue, Vimal, to touch liquid. But when you sing in the front line, everyone think, what a great personality, because you got the greatest gift. And bhajan singers don't use that gift. I don't know why. I don't know why. But this 2-centimeter tongue, if you came out and you sang and sang and sang and sang for God, then people get attached to your singing. You sold a product. Don't you think you should be within the parameters of the product that you sold? You understand? Very sensitive what I'm saying, Mama. That's why before I said it, I said I'm saying it with love. So if my own devotees are singing, I can clean up their tongue. You understand? Premilla, why are you looking guilty? Nothing wrong with your tongue. You understand? Are there any swear words at home, Premilla? After you sing Narayan here, then you go home. All right. You brought your witness. Okay. No F words and all on the tongue? Oh, okay, all right. No B words. In Hindi, D words, D-O-G and then L-A. Oh, okay, all right. Just checking, Today is the last day of Navaratri. I'm just checking how the mothers are. Any mothers got these types of Mother Kali looking at Guru very guilty? Anyone? Satisfied? You witness from tomorrow, just tell me. We got modern phones. You can start recording and just send it to the Guru. All right? Are there any questions? We have 2 Vimals here today. Vimal? Another Vimal? You Vimal as well? Vishal, sorry. Vimal and Vishal. Okay. Just got a little bit confused. I'm just trying to prevent getting swaned, but I can hear the swear words from many people. This effing Guru, disgracing me. Not you, Premilla. Why are you looking at the Guru? Okay, Satish Bhai, I think you need to leave. Let me just, don't stay for Aarti. Just as soon as I'm signing off, I wish you all, every one of you, whether I stung you or didn't sting you, a happy Vijaya Lakshmi, a happy Dussehra. If the Guru is whacking you for your own good. Guru gets nothing from whacking you. When I wanted to really whack, I had 10 years of whacking in the police force. Right? That was material whacking. And some people are still running. All right? But if I'm whacking you, then it is spiritual whacking. It's for a different reason. All right? All of you understand? Jai Shriman Narayan.